Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am so excited to do this with you guys today. Say hello if you're jumping on. Let me know where you're tuning in from. I just had to run up and down the steps. So forgive my out of breath. We are going to be setting intentions today for 2025. And these are not going to be intentions that we're setting from the mind. And it's not going to be intentions that feel like goals and like rigid benchmarks that we have to meet, or else we feel like we're not moving forward in life, right? There's a process that I go through every year, and it shifts a little bit every year as I'm intuitively led. But it's a process that really allows us to feel into where we're being guided from our energy, from our soul, and including the mind and body. And so we're going to incorporate all of it today. I'm not a big New Year's resolutions person. I'm not a let's make a monthly card spread for the entire year. I've tried those things and they don't stick for me and for the people that I know and that operate in a similar way to me. And I also feel like they're self-fulfilling prophecies because it's like, okay, let's map out what this entire year is supposed to look like, right? And I feel like you then get this expectant energy around what's coming and act in accordance to that. And then that's what arrives. And you're like, see, it was on point. So for me, I don't find that as reliable. And I think the most reliable thing we can do is connect to our souls. So we're going to do that today. We're going to open the Akashic Records. If you have never opened your Akashic Records before, let me know. Say hello if you're a first timer to me, to the Akashic Records. My name's Laura Mazzata. I've been a holistic therapist for 20 years. I'm a consciousness guide. I've been working with the Akashic Records as a guide for a little over 8 years at this point. And I absolutely love to access higher dimensional energy, to feel into how higher dimensional energy and divine energy expresses through each of us uniquely. And that's why these kinds of experiences are very, very fun. And I also want you to know that these experiences are very sacred. And so I want you to bring both of those vibes here. All of your fun, playful human, in addition to a deep level of reverence for yourself, for spirit, for soul. And we're going to be tapping into a lot of those things today. So I am going to drop a link to open the Akashic Records just in case any of you have not opened them before. And or if you feel like, you know what, I do open the Akashic Records, but I want somebody to kind of guide me in on a regular basis. And it can just feel better and feel good to kind of lay back and receive rather than being more intentional yourself. You're in a bit of a more relaxed energy that way when somebody's holding you through it. So that's a process that you can use anytime you'd like. It's on my YouTube channel. So I am going to take you through this process today, but I want to chat a little bit first about why this is such a helpful way to create intentions. And the reason I say that they're helpful is because they stick. They actually work. They don't just work in terms of coming to pass in your life, but they allow the process of coming to pass to be less rocky, more centered. And you're still going to have intensity. You're still going to have duality. You're a human being, but you're going to have these guideposts with these mantras you create that, again, are not from the mind, but it's almost like your soul giving you this prescription and saying, okay, this is exactly what I know is the medicine that you deeply need in this human lifetime at this moment. That's going to stretch your edges, allow you to grow, and be present with more of you in a very compassionate, graceful, loving way. And if you're here, you like a stretch, right? We like a little bit of a stretch. We're not just going to sit here and not change. We signed up to be human beings because we desire to feel sensation and to feel more of who we are and to understand the unfolding of who we are as we continue to come online. So it's really important that when we set intentions, we receive them rather than going to get them, searching for them, creating them with the mind. So that's what we're doing today. We're going to start with a process of more of a growth mindset shift, shifting us briefly into growth mindset after we open the Akashic Records. And then we're going to dive into creating and catalyzing some of the energy underneath this mindset that start to awaken more of your energetic potential. We're going to attend to a lot of the human things that go on in your life, the different areas of your life that present, like work, relationships, your mission. I have a whole list. So make sure that you have your journal with you, or you can type away whatever you want to do. You can share it in the comments section, or you can place it in the notes app on your device if you'd like. But this first few exercises that we're going to do, if you desire to just receive them meditatively, that's totally fine. But there will be an exercise later that I'm going to strongly encourage you to write down, because it's going to help us with finding the word for the year. And then once we start to feel into that, into sensation in the body, our song for the year is going to come up, and then we're going to move into the mantra. So it's going to be a fun day. We're probably going to be here for about 45 minutes total is my guess, but you never know with spirit. I allow spirit to lead. And another thing I just want to say here is that when we are going through this process today, focus more on feeling what's coming through, feeling what it's like to do these practices, rather than the content itself that's coming forward, because it's that sensation that comes alive within the body that creates an energetic memory that is housed within our field. And that is an anchor point for us to continue to return to, and that our body remembers and knows when we return to these guideposts of the vibe, the mantra, or the song throughout the course of the year. And that's what makes it sustainable. So it's really, really important that you feel into this, because what we're doing as we continue to return to these guideposts is we're very gracefully and gradually attuning ourselves to the vibration that our soul is communicating as the most aligned, the most expansive for us for the coming 12 months or so. Okay. So grab a drink of water. We're going to get started in just a moment here. I'm going to check in on the chat and say good morning. Hello, everybody. It's so good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Ooh, snow day from work. That's exciting. That's very exciting. Congratulations. All right. I'm going to be drinking my water off and on throughout this too. Obviously, it's going to help us move some energy. And it's also going to more deeply embed what we're doing here today. There's going to be a lot of energy moving, and that's going to, again, start to anchor some of this energy within you so that you become more of what you desire to actualize and create. Because what we're actualizing, creating, comes from who we become, comes from who we are and who we choose to be. And we don't want that choice to just come from looking around us, or everything we think we should be, or how everything looks in our lives right now and we're afraid to change, right? We want to really, really hear and receive palpably what our soul is sharing with us. Okay? If there's anybody here who considers themselves an intuitive or a multi-passionate person, meaning that you are passionate about 500 things per day, wave to me in the comments. I know already by seeing the names here that there's a lot of us here, because that's who I tend to draw in, right? Like very highly intuitive, visionary women who are here to really push the glass ceiling a little bit. We can say shatter, but extend the edges of the envelope, right? In terms of what's conventional, because we have faith. We believe that anything's possible. And that's what we're doing here. We're creating our reality vibrationally by being in this space of the Akashic Records. Yep. Hi, guys. Thank you. The reason I say that is because when we're all over the place, we can have intentions that come forward for ourselves that are very fleeting when we're multi-passionate and intuitive. And when I say fleeting, that can be momentary. It can be one day. It can be a few weeks. It can be a month, right? That's still considered fleeting in the realm of your soul's perspective, right? Because the soul obviously has multiple iterations of itself over a number of lifetimes. And so that's still considered fleeting. And when we have that kind of energy, we can feel like we're jumping from one thing to the next, or I want to do this, or I want to do that. And what do I focus on? And then you kind of get tired and you're like, I don't know if I want to do anything. I don't know where I'm going. And you get a little restless, and it can be uncomfortable. And there can be cycles of this. And that's, again, where these guideposts can be very, very anchoring and helpful, because it reminds you where the soul-led desire is not fleeting, Okay. And it continues to bring you back to that. So when you feel that sensation, that squirminess, that, oh, I'm not focused, or I'm foggy and I'm not clear, or I'm shot, like I'm so toasted right now and I can't move, allow these to come forward, and not just in the body, but as a returning point for the mind. Okay. All right, cool. So my word for this past year was deliberate. Does anybody have a word that they had for 2024? And my mantra was, I open and come alive. If you have something you'd like to share, share it here. My goodness, did they come into form? I was more physically active in this year than I've been in the past 17 years of my life. More intimacy, more love, more gratitude, more faith, more conviction than I've ever had. It's amazing. So I'm telling you, this process is something that I've seen time and time again has worked for me, my clients, my loved ones. And this is why I wanted to bring it forward today, because we combine this soul level energy with our human desires and what the body, how the body wants to move to. We're going to move the body just a little bit if you want. It's up to you. Expansion. And I created so much space. It's crazy, beautiful. I'm right there with you. That spaciousness is wild. And that spaciousness tells you too that you are expanding more into the soul, right? Because when we look at the universe, I mean, there's an infinite amount of space. As we expand more and more into higher dimensions, our nervous systems can get a little twitchy, which is why we do things like this together. And we bring the human component into it so that it all gets attended to. Okay. So let's do this. Is everybody ready? If you're ready, give me a fire emoji. We're going to get ready. And we're going to open the Akashic Records. I'm not going to take you through the exact same process that I do in that video that I dropped for you already, because that's a longer process, more for beginners. So I'm just going to slip in as they desire to invite us today. Awesome. Let's go, dudes. I want to make sure that you are in a space where you can kind of settle in a little bit, because we are going to go into a meditative process. After I take you into the Akashic Records, we're going to dive right into this process. Okay. And again, if you want to write during this, have something handy to do that. But we're going to get going here and enter a meditative space. So allow yourself to sink into the space beneath you, adjust anything in the body that needs to be adjusted, stretch, open, wiggle, and then get yourself settled to a space where you can gently close the eyes and take a nice deep breath in. Allowing your exhale to release out the root space just at the base of the spine. Allowing the next breath to expand the rib cage to the sides of the body. And release. Allow the shoulders to fall back and down, the face to soften. Loosen the jaw. Smooth the forehead, the cheeks. Relax the eyes. And just continue to breathe slowly and deeply at a pace that's comfortable for you. Allowing your breath to extend down your legs, wrapping around the root system of Mother Earth, and trickling in a fine line all the way down to the center of Mother Earth. Breathing deeply here, allowing yourself to receive the warm, unconditionally loving, supportive, nourishing energy from Mother Earth as it rises up into the body, as if you're being covered in a warm blanket. Allow this to soak in through the skin, into every cell, into every energy center. And as this warmth relaxes the muscles of the body, allow the heart to open. And as the heart opens, breathe in deeply through the mouth, calling in a cool energy from up above the top of the head and allowing it to enter. As this energy enters, feel it touching the back of your heart space. And as it does so, the heart softens and opens even further, unlocking your Akashic record. As we continue to breathe here, you can feel it opening further and further, inviting in the highest guides, divine intelligence, welcoming in all iterations of you, allowing your soul to shine brightly, giving it space to open further, to distribute further throughout the body and energy field. And it's with this next breath that the Akashic Records will be officially open. The records are now open. Keep your eyes closed and your breath moving, allowing yourself to adjust to this high frequency space as we call in our guides, loved ones, angels, and ascended masters to be present in this community, to be part of this experience, to guide us, hold us, support us, receive us. Allow your breath to expand the third eye. Relax the body even further to receive this energy deeper into the tissue. And it's here that I want you to receive a celebration from your soul. What is it that your soul is celebrating about you right now? It's all working. You're exactly where you're meant to be. You have everything you could ever want and more. What is it you're celebrating right now? Let your soul give that to you. If you desire to jot it down. But let your soul tell you. What does it know that exists in your energy field right now? Even if you haven't fully claimed it consciously. And you can stay in meditative space here. You can drop it in the comments or into your journal. But this is really just an exclamation from your soul. Like, it's all working out. You're here. You're ready. You're complete. You're already there. Right? And now what I want you to do is shift right into either a free association journaling, just anything that comes up, you put it down around this prompt of I am in deep gratitude for. I am in deep gratitude for, or you can just receive it. Feel into this, most importantly. Continue to breathe and receive this. Receive what you're in deep gratitude for. Not thinking too much. Let the sensation guide. Starting to finish up writing your gratitude list. I am in deep gratitude for. Feel into it. And we're going to immediately shift into our next prompt where we're going to do the same thing, whether you're going to either receive this or just free associate this on your journal page. I am. Write as many words as you want after that I am. Let your soul lift you up in this. And this next prompt that we're going to be moving into is very simple. I'm going to explain it a little bit. It's just I, right? So I'll give you an example. This is like, these are action words. Like, what do you do? What does your soul do through you? Not just tasks. So for instance, I wrote, I ignite, I catalyze, I shake things up, I soothe, I clarify, I invite, I honor, I move, I rest, I open, I come alive, I witness, I flow, I receive, I listen, I hold, I express, etc. So just fill in I. Continue to breathe, receive, and feel into the sensations as you're writing them. Some of them may stretch you. And when you feel complete with this part, I just want you to be in presence with yourself. Just breathe, receive everything that was just received. Allow the energy of it to settle into your field. To distribute. Just creating a little bit of a foundation for the next exercise we're heading into. Just be with this for right now. Breathe deeply into this. And we're now going to head into an exercise. We're going to invite our human a little bit more into this now, right? We've kind of shifted to that growth mindset. We've gotten ourselves into the heart space. We've brought ourselves into the I am, allowed some of this energetic movement to be activated as our soul shows how it expresses through us. Now we're going to bring our human in a little bit. And we're going to focus on identifying areas of desire in 8 different aspects of our lives. Okay? So the prompt is going to be I desire. And I'm going to give you the different categories. And I'm going to give you an example of this because I don't want this to come from your mind. I want this to come from felt sense. Okay? As much as possible. As you are writing what you desire, for instance, the first category is home/family. Okay? So that's the first category, home/family. I desire. What is it that you desire? Allow whatever desires to come into your mind to be written down. Allow desires that come up from sensation to also be there. Okay. But what I wrote was ease, peace, open communication, raw authenticity, and devotion. These do not have to be tangible. Like, I want to make sure that my house is clean. Now, if that comes up, that's fine. Or I want to set boundaries with my mother because, right? Like, if that comes up, that's fine. Allow whatever comes up to come up, but also recognize this can just be vibrational, right? It can just be a felt sense of ease, peace, open communication, raw authenticity, devotion. So let's start with this. I desire, and then fill in like 4 or 5 things. This isn't, we're going to go through these 8 categories. So we're not going to be with this for a really extended period of time. But jot down, what are those things that come forward? I desire what in my home/family? Again, this could be your physical home or the people within it or both. The next category is money. I wrote light connection, trust, knowing. You can write down specific money goals. 100K a year, 100K a month, win the lottery. The next category is intimate relationships. I wrote steady, detached, sovereign, and full. This could also be an intimate relationship with yourself. Intimacy is not always sexual or physical. It can also be an intimate relationship with animals, with nature, right? So don't get caught up on that. Feel into this, what feels intimate. And you can always come back to these and finish these later too. But I also don't want you to spend too much time on them because I want them to be kind of off the top intuitively what comes up immediately, because we don't want to sit with them for too long with this part of the exercise, okay? The next section is work or productivity. So again, if you don't have a job or a career, you may desire to be productive in other ways. It could be creative projects. It could be within your home, more structurally. It could be caretaking for another. So again, feel into what feels like that to you. I wrote joy, inspiration, and a natural network for work. The next section is mission. Let your soul really drive this one. I wrote fire, momentum, the driver, refined, amplified, prioritized, focused. And again, you can just receive these in these categories if you don't want to write. 3 more categories. This next one is play. I wrote retreats, new events, concerts, and travel. Feel into play. Second to last category we have is friendships. I wrote a small group, intimate exchange, accountability, raw and direct. Relax the body, breathe, receive. And our final category, I'll explain just a little bit. The environment or the collective. So this could be, the environments that we surround ourselves with include our homes, obviously, which we already attended to, but it's also our communities. It's also the nature that exists around us. It's also the collective vibe that might be impacting us. It could be cultural. It could be religious in nature. So this may differ person to person, but feel into this. Like, what does it feel like what do you desire for your environment and your vibrations surrounding you to feel like, right? I wrote open collaboration, light and free, loving and fresh. Hmm. And just be with that section for a moment. Just look over it. Just glance over it if you wrote it down, or just be in the presence of the energy if you receive that meditatively, and just allow yourself to be in the reception of whatever energy is kind of swirling and showing itself to you. Let it kind of organize in its own way within your field for a moment. Okay, and we're going to head into this next part, our last part. This is the part that I really want you guys to write stuff down. This is where it's going to be helpful, because after this, we're going to pick our word, okay? Which is exciting. So I want you to really sink deeply within. So this is where you are going to visualize your soul as this little spark of light that exists at the base of your spine. And I want you to breathe, allow this star or this diamond or this ball of light, however it's envisioned for you, to expand up the spine through the body as you continue to breathe. And allow yourself to really drop down within you. Really allowing these answers to come from this space, because now we're going to focus on what we desire within. Okay? So the prompt is going to be, what do I desire for my? And the first prompt is going to be for my mind. I wrote clear direction to follow and be guided to receive. What do I desire for my mind? Let your soul show you this through physical sensation, emotional sensation, unknowing, or just automatic replies that come forward from this space. What do I desire for my body or health? I wrote opening, energy, intention, nature, movement, and exploration. The next category is, what do I desire for my spirit? I wrote expand, enrich, grow, embodied, hold, fuel, lighten. The next category is emotions. I wrote grace, clarity, centeredness, anchored, whole, open, real, and raw. And the last category is energy. I wrote light, playful, driven, clear, refined, clean, spunky, and focused. And now I want you to look over all of these words. This is why I wanted you to write these down. Look over all of these words that you wrote down for mind, body, spirit, emotions, and energy. Just be with them as if you're just kind of hanging out and looking at a piece of art. You don't even have to deeply digest it, just kind of scan it. And as you're scanning it and you're present with the body, stretch a little bit, open the body, open the breath, and just feel into the sensation, which could be emotional or physical, that arises in the body as you read over these words. And the ones that light up the most in your body, in whatever way, whether it's the most whew, or the most joyful, the most exciting, right? Circle those. Circle the ones that are the most, in like 3 to 5. And as you're present with these, I want you to feel into which one of these words feels like a stretch, like momentum, at the same time that it feels peaceful, at the same time that it feels enriching, and kind of carries notes of some of those other words that you've highlighted. Most importantly, feel into it first. Which one pops the most? And I want you to circle, star it, drop it in the comments. And breathe. Clarity. Adventure. Trust. Now that you've seen and identified this word, I want you to just be with it in the body. Like, let this word be in your body, the full extent of this word. Let it stretch its edges into the whole body. Feel into the depths of it. Feel yourself become it. And as you do this, as you're in sensational presence with this word, identify if there's any tweaks or little micro shifts that are coming up to it that desire to show themselves. So for me, my word was fuel. And then my 2025 word is fueled. It can be that subtle. Settle into a space where you're like, oh, that feels like truth. Which that truth is equally a little uncomfortable with that stretch. And also like, oh, baby, though, this pops. And if you know that word, drop it. And if you've already dropped a word and it hasn't changed, then you don't have to drop anything. If you know your word, drop it so that you can be seen, so that you can claim it. Because when you're claiming it, you're taking responsibility. You're taking responsibility for your soul's invitation, for the momentum that you are riding into 2025, that you are riding right now, the energy that's already alive in you right now. You're claiming who you are. You're trusting this is who you are. You're trusting this is more of what you're going to become, right? Claiming. I love that I just said that. On fire. Yes. I love that. Oh, that feels so good. Bold, right? This is how we get bold. This is how we align, because this is where we decide. This is where our minds can decide. This is where a human can help us in actualizing the expansion and the embodiment of our essence moving forward. Okay, unity. Ooh. Woo! Lindsay, did you see that? All right. So now that you know your word, how many of you are Spotify users? Did you get your Spotify wrapped? Oh, gracious. See, I love that it shifted, Sherry. What's so hilarious, Sherry, is mine started with clarity too. I thought it was going to be clarity, but there was something about it that just didn't feel settled. Anyway, if any of you guys have done Spotify Wrapped, I love Spotify Wrapped. It makes me so happy. And then they make your, top songs of 2024 playlist. So if you don't use Spotify, that's okay. Just look at your playlist that you most play. Because what we want to, that's okay, Lindsay, give yourself space. There's no rush. There's no rush. You can sit with this and go back through this video as much as you want. Okay. Do not rush the process. Sometimes it's fast for me and sometimes it takes me a week. So just give yourself some space. Okay. What is the song that makes you feel this word? Like the song is like ushering you into gracious, ushering you into unity, ushering you into on fire, claiming trust, adventure, like really awakens that within your body. That might awaken you through lyrics. It might awaken you through the title itself. It might awaken you through just the music and the melody or the song. The tone of the voice of the singer, right? So don't get caught up on, well, I don't really know what this song means, but I know, right? Like, don't get caught up on that. Instead, it's just feel into what feels like leadership, what feels like unity to me. For me, my song, my word was fueled. Like I said, my song was Guiding Light by Mumford and Sons. Guiding Light by Mumford and Sons. It feels to me like fueled. And that's what it kind of ushers me into when I listen to it. I don't even fully know what it means, to be honest with you. And I don't even care because I know what it means to me when I listen to it. And that's all that matters. I can buy myself flowers. Yes. Good old Miley Cyrus. Sia Unstoppable. Oh, so good. Yes. That is at the top of my playlist. So good. I love music, you guys. It's one of the best tools we can use to really bring ourselves into the body and awaken that sensation that we've started to anchor here today. Right. And that our words help us with, but sometimes focusing the mind on a word or just activating the body's sensation can be challenging if we're really in the human sauce. And music is one of the most beautiful ways to help shift our vibration, right? And to bring us back to that memory that we talked about earlier, right? That we're anchoring into the body. And then that starts to come alive and the energy is activated and you're in alignment, even if your mind's still like, huh? Right? Safety, authority. This is delicious, guys. 2025 feels bold. I mean, it's already felt really bold, but woo, I love this. And I want you to identify, like, for me, what does fueled mean? It means I'm fueled by spirit, by the peaceful anchor within me, by the energy of interactions and experiences in this life. I want to be fueled by them, even if they're quote unquote negative, according to maybe my mind or my nervous system. It's fueled by passion and desire and by deep nourishment. So you can also just be in meditative space with this word and let different notes and textures of it kind of come alive for you. Goose, give it time and I'll make the wise. Okay, I love that. I know I still have goose kind of popped up there because you commented something at one point, Jen, about goose, and I still have that on my like search in Spotify. Yeah, so right now is a good time to turn on that song. If you have the ability to do so, turn on that song, let yourself listen to it, move your body to it, right? Move your body to it. Wrong bitch. If you don't want to move your body, you don't have to, but this is where the mantra comes from. Okay. The mantra comes from putting on, I did check them out. I did, I promise, but not as much in depth as I wanted, which is why I kept it on my search list. So this is where we move the body. Allow this song to open you. And in the course of listening to this song, allow your mantra to arrive. Okay. And this mantra can come from some of the other words that you're kind of putting together with this word you chose that you had circled in that, what do I desire for my mind, spirit, emotions, energy, body, right? You had circled like 3 to 5 words. So your mantra could come out from like a combination of those. So you can kind of look back through some of your notes, not from an analysis of the mind, but just to kind of look at it, witness it, be present with the energy of these words. But as you move your body to this song, allow the mantra to arrive to you. Mine was, I move to the clarity of divine grace. Unity with the divine. I'm trying to type this in for you guys, but it's not working. I move to the clarity of divine grace. Be with your song, guys. Because the point of this mantra, guys, is if something that you're coming towards in this next year, whether it's a decision or a fork in the road or a relationship or a person that's coming into your life, it's, does this opportunity feel like this mantra does in my body right now? If not, it's a no. This is what brings you into easier decision making, because you come back to this sensation and you know whether it matches or not. Deep down, you know, because you can feel it. I know we got more songs here, people. Give me your songs. I want to know what songs you're choosing. It's fun. I'm searching for a word that embodies feeling powerful, directed, convicted to lead as if royalty, power that arises from wholeness. Yeah. Let yourself receive it. Regal, goddess. Goddess doesn't feel good. Regal, but something softer than that. Into the mystic. Thank you. Okay. So if you guys want to share your mantras, and again, the mantra might take a little bit more time, which is okay. Give yourself some space with it. Again, listen to this song over and over and over again on repeat if you need to, and just allow the words of that to arrive to you. And I want you to be like, I wrote, I move, because I felt that momentum of movement that I'm most importantly, like I wrote, I move first. I wrote, I move first. And I was just like, yeah, I know I'm being moved, and I know I'm moving more and bigger and wider, right? Like I knew that. And I knew there was some kind of clarity within that, right? But that clarity did not come from me, that I want that clarity to come from divinity. And I want it to be soft and patient and embodied, right? And so I said, I move to the clarity of divine grace, because to me, that, like I wrote here, that feels opening. It feels peaceful. Ooh, illuminated. I like that, Jen. Focused, convicted, clear. The other thing that came forward for me, Lindsay, was also just led. Led. Because as you're led, you lead. And so it's like you're led by spirit. You're led by yourself. You're led by your wholeness. You're led by the reflections that come up in your life, right? And as you're led, you're naturally going to lead. Yeah. A couple different options for you to play with. I embody my leadership with self-authority and accept my path as unfolding. Okay, so this is why I want you to drop these too, because as I connect to accept, I'm like, how does the word accept feel to you? How does that feel in your body? Does it feel like I'm softening into acceptance? Or does it feel like you want to deepen that into appreciation and appreciate my path, my unfolding path, or the unfolding of my path? Or I revere it. is even higher, right? I'm inevitable. Oh, that's fucking incredible. Yes. Woo! Oh, baby. That's a good word for you too, Lindsay. Bring in the fire, Atlantis. Thank you. I'm inevitable. I love this. Okay. So I'm going to give you guys 2 prompts that you can use on your own time. We're not going to do them here live because we're going to wrap up here in just a moment. But I want to give you 2 prompts that will continue to really bring this more into the concrete and the practical, which is like, all right, what does this actually look like in my life and how do I call this forward? We've talked about that some, but again, I want this to be something that really sticks for you. And it's already going to because of the energy that we've embodied today. But it's something that, again, it's a guidepost to continue to return to for your mind, your body, your spirit, your energy. We want to encapsulate all aspects of you, the wholeness of you. Okay. Acceptance was my word for 2024. I like that. Soundtrack to the movie River. Okay, I love that. May I arrive, and be gracious in all areas of my life. This serves me in the collective. Oh, I love that. May I arrive. These words are so delicious, guys. It's so expansive. Thank you for bringing these vibes. We're stretching, friends. We're stretching. Okay, so the first prompt I'm going to give you is and I'm going to tell you what I wrote down so that you have an example. What does it feel like to be whatever it is you wrote for your word for the year? So for me, I wrote fueled. What does it feel like to be fueled, right? Or what does it feel like to? However, the wording works out nicely with your word that you picked. Like for Maria, what does it feel like to be an authority? What does it feel like to be gracious? What does it feel like to claim? Or what does claiming feel like? Right? So you can change the wording. So what does it feel like to be fueled? It feels like graceful momentum, centered, deliberate direction, openness to spirit through everything in the 3D, relaxed receptivity, burning desire, steady forward motion, deep inner presence, expanded breath, accountability, rich, sustainable nourishment, stability, consistency and steadiness, raw, demonstrative expression, and expanded creativity. Okay, so that's my answers to it. And the second question, the second prompt I'm going to give you, this one's really important. I'm going to explain that as well. So what you just did was you wrote down, what does it feel like to be this word, right? What does it feel like? And now you're going to say the most direct access to this sensation is, okay, because this is what you get to choose. So for me, I wrote calling up spirit from the root and lower womb space, like Kundalini energy, through mantras, breath, and meditation. That's what for me, and let your soul show you this. You don't have to decide this. You don't have to try for this. You don't have to do this on your own, right? Let your soul show you this. The most direct access to this sensation that you just wrote all those things on when you do this prompt. Okay? And that's your quote unquote task, like your spiritual task or your anchor point of this is what I know I can go choose to do when I get distracted, when I'm in avoidance, when I'm playing small, when I'm not claiming who I am, when I have forgotten where my essence is leading me, how my essence is naturally expressing through me and desires to continue to express through me. Okay? So those are your 2 little homework assignments that you can play with to ingrain this further. Okay? And also, if you want to clear any of the subconscious limitations that might feel like they're going to make things a little messier, and you want to ingrain this and the vibrations even deeper so that some of that clears out, I'm actually hosting a writing circle on January 3rd. It's only $25. And I'm going to drop it here for you if you guys want to dive in and do that with me, because it's just kind of an extension of what we have done here. Okay. There's only a certain number of characters you can drop. So you can check that out if you want. And that's accessed through my private Facebook group, the Expansion Portal, but I am offering it to everybody who's come to this as special access because you're part of this community and because this was such a natural extension from this experience. I'm running that anyway, but I thought it was a really, really cool addition and deepening of what we've done here today. And if you want to connect with me one-on-one, that's Akashic Records session. So I'll drop that here if you want to chat and be like, Laura, I need help with this, or I, just want to have some support as I expand and stretch more into exactly where I'm being led. Because that's one of the things that I do very, very precisely, right? Is I'm able to see that edge you're stretching into very quickly and where your soul is communicating and guiding you into that. So if you need any help with that, let me know. And if you want to do in-person stuff or spend a few days hanging out, come to my March retreat. I have one in May too, but that's mostly full. My March retreat is something I just put on the calendar. So check it out. It's a little bit more accessible because it's on the weekend and it's at a lower price point than some of my other retreats. So check it out. Let me know if you have questions. And continue to share here as your clarity comes through around your word, as your clarity comes through with your mantra. Drop them here, drop your song, listen to your song, return to these things as guideposts, return to the sensations. Okay. And most importantly, do those last 2 prompts I dropped you guys. Okay. Seriously, it's going to help your human. That's what I call loving yourself forward. Like love yourself forward so that you know, okay, when I get lost in the human sauce, where do I go? Oh, right. I wrote this down. I'm going to go do this. Like for me, it was calling up spirit from the root and the womb, and that kind of Kundalini energy through mantras and chanting and meditation and breath work. So it's great because you guys have multiple touch points within this process that you can access. If you can't really get there with the body, if you can't really get there with spirit, if you can't really get there with energy, if you can't really get there with the mind, you have an access point in all layers, right? And that's why this is so freaking cool to truly come to pass. You will absolutely actualize these words by the end of 2025. Are you going to know exactly what it's going to look like? No. Isn't that what we do here on the spiritual path, right? Is we trust. We don't set rigid expectations. We stay in the present and we allow life to unfold, and we are present with the sensations that come forward. And it's in that knowing that we then allow ourselves to be invited into, right, remember where my soul is enriching me, guiding me, moving me, right? That's what being on this path is about. So let's close up the Akashic Records, allowing yourselves to just take a nice deep breath in. Allow yourself to receive, to release any energy that is tied or attached to that old identity, that way of being that does not support the lightness, the freedom, the expansiveness, the stretch that you're moving into. Let your exhales release that. And open your heart to the knowing that as we do this work, all of these vibes, all of these shifts extend beyond us. They're gifts to ourselves, those around us, and the collective at large. We are in deep gratitude and appreciation for this community, for spirit, for ourselves, for being present here today. And it's with this final Om that we will close the Akashic Records. The records are now closed. You can open your eyes whenever you're ready. Thank you so, so much for being here. I am so grateful. This was beautiful. It was fun. It was sacred. You can return to it anytime you desire. Share it with anyone you feel it would benefit. Touch base with me if you want to join in that writing circle or jump on a call with me, and I will talk to you very, very soon. Have a good day. Bye.